Hello students, let's move on to the next concept in this chapter, and that is a strategic management process. So let's see what is it. So it is a dynamic process. It is not a one time static or mechanistic process. So it involves a time, so lot of time is required, and we are going to run a business for a longer duration for many years, so we have to make a planning in that duration. So it is a continual evolving and interactive process. So strategic management process is a continuous process. That means I already said that since formation uh, till the winding up of the organization, we have to make so many plans. For it may be for daily activities, for annual activities, or for the future projects. So it involves many decisions, it involves many plans, and we have to make evaluation of all those plans. It is a evolving process. We have to make evaluation of plans. If there is any correction is required, or if there is any changes is required, then we have to make a changes in the plan which we already made. Then it is an interactive process. We have to interact with the plan we have already made, that is about its working. So this process includes a set of managerial decisions and actions which determines the long-term planning and effective performance of objectives and goals of the organization. So strategic management process, it involves a managerial decisions. It involves a set of managerial decisions and actions. So many decisions, many plans and actions are involved in strategic management process, and that will consider the long-term objective of the organization. So it is going to consider the future performance of the organization, future goals of the organization. So let's see the definition of this uh, process. That is it is an ongoing process that includes a set of managerial decisions and actions which defines the way an organization makes its strategy to achieve its goals. So various plan that is already being made by the organization. So it is going to define, this process is going to define how these strategies are going to fulfill the goals of the organization, or how these strategies are going to make to achieve its goals. So strategic management means defining the organization's strategy. So strategic management process where it is going to define the organization's strategy, overall objective of the organization is going to define in this process. So it is the process by which managers make a choice of a set of strategies that will enable the organization to achieve better performance. So managers will make different plans. You will be having different alternatives in plans. So he is going to select the best plan which is suitable for the current situation, or for the current problem. So he is going to select that one. So that process is called strategic management process. So strategic management process is a continuous process. So it is a continuous process that appraises the business. It is going to evaluate the business and industries on which organization is involved. So it is going to evaluate uh, the business, so about its strength, about its weaknesses. It's going to evaluate, it's going to analyze itself, and the industry in which organization is involved. That means if company is a car manufacturing company, then it is going to evolve the car industry. So where other companies also manufacturing car, means automobile industry is going to be evaluated while making a strategy. So it appraises its competitors, yes. So it is going to appraise, it is going to evaluate the competitors in terms of their goals, in terms of their strategy, in terms of their the area which they have already covered. So the plans of competitors, everything is going to be evaluated, or it is going to be analyzed about the competitors. So it is going to fix the goals to meet all the present and future competitors. So to face the competition, it fixes certain parameter, then it reassesses each strategy. So after that it makes a plan, it is going to make a strategy. So that strategy is going to be reassessed, it is going to be evaluated in terms about its working. So let's see the stages of strategic management process. So first stage is of establishment of strategic intent. So at this phase, managers must clearly identify the company's vision and mission statement. So vision and mission statement, about this we already discussed. So here manager is going to understand or is going to identify the company's vision and mission statement. So there is going to get an idea that what he need to do, what plan you need to do, because vision and mission statement is going to explain what organization want to achieve in future, or how it wants to achieve, or what position organization wants to be in future. So strategic intent include vision, mission, business definition, business model, goals, and objectives of the organization. So strategic intent will include vision statement, mission statement, business definition, business model. So it is going to consider the entire aspects of the organization. Strategic intent is the purpose for what organization is striving for. So for what purpose organization is working, so that is going to be defined by a strategic intent. So that's why it includes every aspects of the organization. So strategic intent is a higher level statement of the means by which an organization will achieve its vision. So strategic intent is a higher level statement. So through that it is going to achieve its vision. So vision statement, it is the long term plan of the organization. So where it is going to define it, how it wants to be in future. So where it's going to define the future position of a company. So that's why it is a higher level statement. So it is a statement of design for creating a desirable future. So it is going to design an organization for future. Simply, strategic intent is an now organization's vision of what it wants to achieve in the long term. So it is going to explain that what organization want to do in future to place organization in a position it wants to be. So, strategic intent provides the framework within which the firm would adopt a predetermined direction and firm would operate to achieve strategic objectives. So, strategic intent will provide you the way to adopt a predetermined direction. So we already made a plan, so that plan is going to be implemented according to the strategic intent. So strategic intent is the overall direction of organization's history. So it is going to give a direction. It is often an aspirational target that is difficult or perhaps impossible to achieve. So while making a goal, will be making it as a challenging one. That's why it may look like impossible or difficult to achieve. So organization, it makes an effort to achieve the challenging role that organization is going to play in future. The purpose of goal setting is to clarify the vision for business. This stage consists of identifying three factors, that is short and long term objectives of the organization. It is going to define both short and long-term objectives. Then second, identify the process of how to accomplish the objective. Third, it gives each person with the task with which he can succeed. So it gives a task. It is going to define that every employee in organization what they need to do to achieve the organizational objective. So during this process, the goal to be detailed. So the goals of the organization should be detailed and it should be realistic. So sometimes it may look like unrealistic, but we have to make it realistic and we have to match the values of vision. So whatever the intent we are defining now, that should be considered by considering in mind about vision. So vision statement which is already defined, so the plan which we are making, that should consider the fulfillment of vision of an organization. The final step in this stage is to write a mission statement that clearly communicates the goal to shareholders and staff. So after defining vision statement, then we will be coming for defining or writing about mission statement, and that mission statement is going to communicate the stakeholders like shareholders and staff about the goal of an organization. Then second step, so first step is about strategic intent, establishment of strategic intent, and second stage is of formulation of strategies. So this step has two parts, that is strategic analysis and strategy formulation. So strategic analysis, when the company identifies its vision and mission statement, it must assess its current situation in the market. So it is going to examine, it is going to make analysis about its current situation in the market or in the industry. So it includes environmental scanning. So environmental scanning means it's a process of collecting, scrutinizing and providing information for strategic purpose. So environmental scanning, it is of collecting information, scrutinizing information and providing information for the strategy, and it helps in analyzing the internal and external factors influencing an organization. So environmental scanning includes analysis of or analyzing of internal and external factors. That means analysis of internal factors means uh, strengths and weaknesses of an organization, internal relating to organization, and external factors means about the environment they are going to study. Environmental scanning is the process by which organization monitor their significant environment to collect data to derive information about opportunities and threats that affect their business. So they are going to scan the external environment. So it may be the competitor, it may be about the supplier or about the customer. They are going to make a scanning, they are going to make an examination. So through that they are going to collect information about the opportunities and threats they're going to face in future. So opportunities, if they grab the opportunities, then it will create a good future for the organization. And threats, so if they face that threat is a problem. So if they face that threat effectively, or if they make plan to face that threat, then definitely they can survive for a longer duration. For example, the competitor is coming with a new product which is very difficult to beat. So if that is a threat, by making an environmental scanning we'll be getting to know about that fact. So that's a threat. So now we are going to face that threat. Or opportunity means now there is more what demand for internet. So now you're going to launch 5G network in a local area, definitely people will come to you to get a service. So that's what opportunity is created. So if you grab that opportunity, definitely your business is going to click. Situation analysis examines internal and external issues in terms of strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So, that is called SWOT analysis. In this stage, required information about all those external and internal factors relevant to accomplishing the vision are gathered and analyzed. So, the two aspects of this analysis are external analysis and internal analysis. So, let's about external analysis of internal environmental appraisal. So, environmental appraisal helps to find out opportunities and threats operating in the environment. Some of the basic objective of strategy are to integrate the organization with the environment. So a lot of changes that are taking place in the environment, to adopt those changes means matching organization with the environment means, so changes whatever the whatever happening in the environment, that is going to be adopted in the organization so that it is going to match organization with the environment. So for this purpose, knowledge of environment is necessary. So an environment appraisal must be done. So we need information about the environment, that what are the opportunities, what are the threats are available in environment. So we have to analyze it. We should have the information about all those things, then we can make an environmental analysis. So for getting a knowledge about environment, we are going to make a environmental appraisal. So that includes collection of relevant information from the environment or environmental issues. So this process includes collecting information about the environment, about opportunities, about threats, then interpreting its impact on the future working of the organization. So we are going to interpret, we are going to evaluate, so how those opportunities or how those threats, especially threats, is going to affect the organization, and determine the opportunities offered and threats faced by the organization in future. Then internal analysis or organizational appraisal helps to identify or helps to find out the strengths and weaknesses of our organization in order to create a match between them. So internal analysis includes analysis of strengths and weaknesses. It is related to organization appraisal, organization analysis. So relate in terms of it's so organizational appraisal includes evaluation of strengths and weaknesses of the organization. So strengths may be the organization has the updated technology, or it has good staff. Then weaknesses may be like organization is lacking in technology, or it is labor oriented. So those are the weaknesses. So they are going to analyze their strength and weaknesses, and they are going to match it. That means if weaknesses are managed with its strength, then definitely we can overcome the problems of weaknesses. Organizational appraisal is related with the appraisal of internal environment. The purpose of organizational appraisal is to determine the organizational capability in terms of strengths and weaknesses that lie in the different functional areas. This is necessary since the strength and weakness have to be matched with the environmental opportunities and threats for strategy formulation. While making a strategy, we have to consider what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses we are having. So weakness may be we are not having enough material for a production, or there may be shortage of materials which is required for manufacturing. uh, we may get it on particular season only. So that is a weaknesses the organization is having. So by considering that, we are going to make a strategy. Organizational appraisal helps organization to decide what it can do. So organizational appraisal, it is going to help that what are the capability of the organization, because it is going to analyze itself in order to study that what is the capability of the organization. So the important method used for internal analysis is value chain analysis or benchmarking analysis. Benchmarking means they are going to set a benchmark. So it may be the sales. So they are going to check sales that with the previous year. So whether it is increasing or decreasing. So like that. So about the internal analysis, we are going to make analysis about the organization with this method. Then second step in strategy formulation, first we are going to make a scanning, situational analysis, and the second part of formulation strategy is strategy formulation. So we are going to make a strategy. So successful situational analysis is followed by strategy formulation, and it is a process of deciding best course of action for accomplishing organizational objectives. So we are going to decide the best strategy in this process. So after conducting environmental scanning, so after making evaluation or analysis of environment, managers, they are going to formulate corporate, business and functional strategies. Strategic plan of action designed to achieve a particular goal. So strategic plan is made to achieve a goal. So there should be a goal. So to achieve that goal, we'll be making plan. So it is a process, or it is a direction and scope of an organization over the long term. So it provides a direction that what you want to do or what you have to do in these years. So to achieve the goal, so what are the activities that employees they need to undertake, that is going to be defined in this that is going to be defined by the strategy. So that strategy is going to be formulated right now. This stage consists of identifying three factors while making strategy. By formulating strategy, there we are going to identify three factors. First is defining short and long term objectives. We are going to consider the short term and long term objectives of the organization. And second, identify the process of how to accomplish the objective. So first we are going to identify what are the short term and long term objectives that is already defined. Now we are going to identify so how to achieve these. So we are going to find a way to achieve these objectives. Finally, customize the process for staff to give each person a task which he can succeed. So we already find a way to achieve the success. Now that way is going to be communicated with the staff, because ultimate working it is depends on the staff. Then third step of strategic management is implementation. So this is the action process. So successful strategy implementation is critical to the success of business venture. So you can make a beautiful plan, but if it is not implemented properly, then it will not going to achieve the purpose of its implementation. So successful implementation also is very important for the success of a business. This is the actual stage of strategic management process, because actual implementation of plan is going to be done here. So just by making a plan it is not enough. So we have to implement it for getting actual result. So strategy implementation implies making the strategy work as intended, or putting the organization strategy chosen into action. So whatever the strategy which we have selected, that we are going to put into action. We are going to work on that strategy, and that is called strategy implementation. Strategy implementation includes designing the organization structure. So where we are going to design the organization structure, and we are going to distribute the resources, we are going to allocate the resources, we are going to develop a decision making process. So when working on the project where employees, they are going to take decisions about the work they are doing, so about managing human resources. So everything is going to be done in this implementation process. Strategy implementation consists of these steps, that is setting annual objectives. We are going to define the annual objective of the organization. Then we are going to revise the policies to meet the objectives. So if there is any changes is required, that changes is going to be made. And allocating resources to strategically important areas, so distribution of resources is done. Changing organizational structure to meet new strategies. So when there is any changes is needed, so that changes we are making in terms of strategy or in terms of structure of the organization. Managing resistance to change, so organization should be flexible, should be flexible to adapt any changes that is going to be introduced. So that's why managing resistance or organization, making organization flexible. Introducing new reward system for performance results, so employees, they are going to given with the targets. If they are achieve that target, then they will be rewarded. So establishing reward system so that they can achieve the objective very fastly. If the overall strategy does not work with business's current structure, then new structure should be installed at the beginning of this stage. Everyone within the organization must be made clear of their responsibilities and duties and how that fits with the overall goal. So, communication of roles and responsibilities, duties that are done this process. Additionally, any resources or funding for the venture must be secured at this point. So, finance is called lifeblood of the organization. So, that is also a resource. So if fund is not sufficient, then whatever the plan you have made, that is going to fail. So that's why raising of fund, that is very important for the success of the strategy. Once the funding is in place and the employees are ready for implementation, then that plan will going to begin. So after implementation, the actual working of the plan, that is going to begin. So fourth stage is a strategy evaluation. So in this process, strategies being implemented are evaluated, so that is going to be checked regularly to check whether they are on track or providing the desired result. So evaluation of strategy, examination of strategy is done in order to check, in order to find is there any deviations in the actual result and expected result, whether the activities are on track, whether it is as per plan. So that is going to be evaluated in this process. So in case of deviations, the corrective actions are taken. So the key strategy evaluation activities are appraising internal and external factors that are the root of present strategy. We are going to make analysis of internal and external factors. Then measuring performance, we are going to measure the performance, we are going to check the performance, uh, like is there any difference in the expected result and actual result. Taking remedial or corrective action if there is any deviation. So the activities are not as per plan, then what are the corrective actions we need to take, that is going to be done here. Evaluation makes sure that organizational strategy as well as its implementation meets the organizational objective. So evaluation is going to make sure that uh, strategy after implementation, yes, it is going to meet the objective of the organization. Then the fifth step is strategic control. Strategic control is concerned with tracking a strategy as it is implemented, detecting problems or changes in the underlying premises, and making necessary adjustments. So, strategic control is concerned with tracking a strategy, monitoring a strategy, that means after implementation they are going to monitor is there any problems, or if is there any changes that are required. So if changes are required, then making necessary adjustments or changes in the strategy which is already being made. In contrast to post action control strategy, it seeks to guide action on behalf of generic and grand strategies as they are taking place, and when end results are still several years away. So here we are going to make changes with regard to the generic and grand strategies. Generic and grand strategies, that are the long term strategies. So the results of that strategy is going to get it because it is for a longer duration. So any changes is required in those strategies also can be made here. The rapid accelerating change of the global marketplace has made continuous improvement is the another aspect of strategic control in many organizations. So we are going to adapt the changes. So any changes that are happening in the external environment, so that changes is going to be adopted. So that is through this process, through this stage. Continuous improvement provides a way for managers to provide a form of strategic control that allows their organization to respond more proactively and timely to rapid development that influence a business success. So it provides a continuous improvement. Uh, it helps managers to have a strategic control, and any because we are making a plan, so any deviation or is any changes is required, immediately we are going to make it. So this process is going to help managers to make a organization proactive. Yes, by this we are going to finish second chapter. Thank you.